What the hell are you doing? A raw voice of a man echoed the basement. Venomous little eyes, nostril flared, mouth quakes and annoyance, muscle flicked angrily at his jaw and arms crossed tightly across the chest. The man looked at each of them, glaring. Don't make me repeat my question. The man roared again when no one answered him. The kids, yes, kids, all of them looked down to the ground, avoiding the withering stare. Fine, if no one answers, I have to punish all of you. The man said and walked to them. The children tried to back off. The clank of chains could be heard when they tried to keep a distance from the man, but it was useless since they couldn't go far because their legs were chained up to the pillow. Start with you. No. The little kid got on her knees immediately once the man pointed his fingers on her. She got on her knees and rubbed her palm, begging, but the man didn't hear her plead but continued to pull her arm once he unchained the kid's legs. He pulled her up harshly and pulled her with him. It's Chang Man, the little kid said. He gives us the idea to run away, she said again when the man stopped from pulling her. The man growled as he heard what she said and looked at the other kid that she mentioned. Changman. The man clenched his jaws, looking at the boy. The boy Changman looked terrified when the man shot his glare towards him. He avoided looking at the man and instead he looked at the girl with so much anger. He felt betrayed. The man changed the girl's legs before he walked to Changman and unchained his legs. I'm sorry, I promise I will not. He cut off when that man slapped him hard. The boy fell on the ground, his nose bleed and his cheeks turned red. Red marks could be seen in his pale skin. His cheeks felt like burning because of the slap. The man pulled him up and dragged him out from the basement once again, ignored the pleading from the small boy. The boy tried to run from his tight grip, but with his small body and weak energy, he can't win the man. The other kids just sat frozen on their spot. They all were with their own world, but all of them got startled when they started to hear a wailing, begging, and screaming from the boy Changman. Meanwhile, the man looked creepily at the little body after he had done punishing the little boy. He put down the knife after satisfied with his work to mark the small body with another fresh scar. I hate her, the boy said breathless. Who? Kia. I hate you, Jimin or whoever it was yelled at you while hands around your neck choking you badly. His eyes glowed with savage fire. I hate you so much. He spitted out the words with voice ascended into a murderous falsetto. Can't breathe, you said with so much struggle, and his eyes bulged out. YN, Bella and the others were so shocked looking at Jimin who was choking you. Jackson, Jungkook, and Taehyung couldn't process what they just saw because they were so shocked. They immediately ran to your room once they heard the yelling, only to find out the absurd situation. Bella immediately ran to them and pushed Jimin off from you. She leaned a punch on Jimin's face, and Jimin fell on the floor. Don't underestimate the power of Bella, though. You bloody bastard! How dare you, Jimin? Then Bella got on top of Jimin and kept punching him hard until Jungkook and Jackson Taehyung pulled her away. It was like the beast inside her had woken up, even though she had a small body among the rest, but not her strength. She almost beat Jimin to death. Jimin just laid down on the floor, blood oozing out from his mouth and nose. He was breathless. Meanwhile, Jackson took your inhaler and helped you to calm down and breathe calmly. Jungkook and Taehyung immediately bid their goodbye after apologized to you and your friends. They pulled Jimin with them and went out from the house. What the fuck did you just do, Jimin? Taeyong yelled angrily. But the other one just stayed silent and just stared into the distance. Taeyong, come down. Jungkook tried to calm him. I think he's not Jimin anymore, he said. Taeyong looked at him shocked before he turned to look at Jimin. He frowned as he looked at his eyes. The person was definitely not Jimin, not him anymore. His eyes got darkened or looked sorrow, showing another strong negative emotion. Changmin, he called, and Changmin looked at him. His jaws tightened, and he glared at Taeyong. You should let me kill her. He suddenly roared in anger. Taeyong and Jungkook looked at him astonished. They never saw this side of Changmin. Usually he would keep everything to himself. He was quiet yet so mysterious. He looked like a friend who was suffered from depression because all he thought about was to end his own life. But when they saw he choked you with so much hatred, there was another side of him that they haven't seen it yet. Why did you do that to her? Jungkook asked, but Changmin just kept his mouth shut. If you continue being like this, how the hell we should know what's your fucking problem? Taehyung couldn't control his anger anymore. If Jay often get mad easily, it was still understandable because that was his nature, being hot-headed about everything that he didn't like, but still spill out the truth. But with Changmin, he was just being unreasonable because everything he did was so selfish. All he thought was to end his life when in fact he didn't own anything. It was Jimin's life after all. If he died, Jimin and his elders also will die, but then he didn't care at all about the fact. And he didn't even try to voice it out, but only kept all the weight to himself. Leave me alone, Changmin said and walked away, but Jungkook gripped his wrist. No, we will not let you go, he said, and soon they drove back to Jimin's house. 3 weeks had passed since the incident. Bella and Jackson were like a bodyguard to you now. They prevented you to meet Jimin. They didn't understand why you forgave him that easily when Jimin almost choked you to death. You also didn't want to say anything. What happened between you and Jimin? Same goes with Jimin. His alters didn't show up since the past 3 weeks and he had been avoiding you. Jungkook and Taehyung had told him everything what happened and his uncle told. His uncle told him to stay away from you because you must be one of the reasons why the alters become so mess. Even though they still didn't know what was the cause and their relationship with you, it was all for the best to avoid you at the moment. It was so chaotic for the past 3 weeks. Even Jackson's friendship with Jungkook and Taehyung will not okay. Jackson didn't understand why Jungkook and Taehyung still befriend with Jimin, and now Jackson started to hate Jimin even more. The fourth-year senior of Faculty of Engineering held a party with the freshers or their soon-to-be juniors to celebrate Win and Nator, who won the title of the Moon and the Star. You really hoped that you could see Jimin there, but looked like he was not coming. Others said that Jimin was being kicked out from became a head student because of the fight he had with Taeyong. But you knew it was not because of that. When you said you couldn't wait to make the best memories of your life once entered university's life, this was not what you meant. Since the first day, all of it becomes suck and mess. No good memories at all. So far, Jackson broke his friendship with the duo. Bella tried avoiding Taehyung and stopped fangirling over him. Bright left his F4 gang after Win told him what Jimin did to his friends, and what you didn't understand why Jimin also avoided you. Can we join you? A voice asked as you looked up to the person. It was the twins, Matthew and Nathan. You can. You said, and Matthew sat on your right side while Nathan sat on your left side. Why are you alone? Nathan asked. You just grinned innocently because you didn't know since when did you was left alone. You was busy with your own thought until you didn't see where his friends were going. Vin and Bright couldn't be seen at the party anymore, and Jackson and Bella were dancing crazily on the dance floor looking drunk. You sighed looking at the two and being worried how you should bring them home. Then you spotted Jungkook and Taehyung at the other tables. Eyes looking at Jackson and Bella, who looked like they didn't care at all about the world. You smiled and thought that you could just ask the seniors to help Jackson, and Bella went back home. But the smile disappeared from your face because you couldn't see Jimin with them. Probably he didn't came. Ryan, are you okay? Matthew asked when he saw your cute pout. Huh? Yeah, I'm okay. They were chatting for a while until a senior joined them. It was Earth. They kept talking and drinking. Oh, Earth, why don't you join your gang? Matt asked, sounded annoyed. They look like they were having fun, Nat said while pointing at Earth's friends. Since Earth came, he looked like he was stealing you from the twins. He jokes a lot and you giggle a lot because of Earth's stupid jokes and didn't give chance for Nathan and Matthew to speak or chatter with you. Earth looked at Nat before he turned his head to find his gang. He saw them dancing with girls. Nah, I'm not interested in that, he said and continued drinking.